I have a full sheet CNC machine from StyleCNC, and as you can see I've made a few changes to the controls. I've added a set of buttons that control the individual functions that I most commonly access while using the machine, and I'm going to show you how the hardware for that was set up. So looking inside here, I have a series of switches. These are illuminated switches with 24 volt LEDs from RS Electronics, but any similar switch will do. I've run two cables from the back of the machine. One cable I'm using a pair for commons. One is wired to each bulb's positive terminal, and the other is wired to a common terminal on each switch. Now both of these are connected up to 24 volts DC, so you could easily use one wire for both, but I've chosen to run a separate common wire for each. Then for each switch, and I'm using Cat6 cable here, but you can use whatever's appropriate, I have one wire connected to the other side of the switch to the common, and I have one cable connected to the negative terminal of the LED. So you can see here, that means each switch requires two wires. And going around the back, you can see how I have wired this in. I've brought the two wires down this main trunking, and here I've split each one into its pairs and run the input wires from the switch terminals into each of these inputs here. This one I have a jumper because I wish to control two things with one input, and then each of the output wires runs down here and then into the outputs. And then finally I have configured in the software each of these inputs and outputs. The inputs in my case are normally closed, as you can see from all the illuminated LEDs, so I've configured them as inverted inputs. If your contacts are normally open, you configure them as normal ones, and then in the software you can configure each of them to have the function desired and the corresponding indicator function.